The hidden life of pilots, secrets, codes, and facts. Pilots live a life full of challenges, excitement, and strange experiences that most people never hear about. Contrary to what many think, pilots don't just sit in the cockpit and fly a plane. Their lifestyle is completely different from what we imagine. In this article, we'll dive into some fascinating facts, secret codes pilots use, and some of the most frequently asked questions about aviation. What is a pilot's life really like? Constant traveling, being a pilot means always being on the move. In just a month, they might travel 24 countries, but here's the catch: most of the time, they don't actually get to enjoy those places. Instead of sightseeing or exploring a new city, they usually land, check into a hotel for a few hours or maybe overnight if they're lucky, and then prepare for their next flight. Messed up sleep schedule. Pilots live with constant jet lag. Their internal clock is always off because they keep changing time zones. To deal with this, they use sleep masks, control the lighting in their rooms, and even follow strict diets to help their bodies adjust faster. But no matter what they do, their sleep cycle is never normal. Sleeping in the cockpit? Yes, it's true, pilots do take naps during flights. But don't worry, it's completely normal. On long-haul flights, pilots take turns resting in special sleeping compartments inside the plane. In fact, many big aircraft have hidden crew rest areas that passengers never see. Strange but true facts about planes. 1. Oxygen masks only last for 15 minutes. You've probably seen those safety demonstrations where they tell you to put on an oxygen mask in case of an emergency. But here's something most people don't know: those masks only provide oxygen for about 10 to 15 minutes. The goal isn't to keep you breathing for the entire flight, it's just enough time for the pilots to bring the plane down to an altitude where the air is breathable. 2. Planes get hit by lightning all the time, believe it or not. Commercial airplanes get struck by lightning at least once or twice a year, but it's not a big deal. They're designed to handle it. The electricity just passes through the metal body and exits without causing any real damage. 3. There's a tiny hole in the plane's window on purpose. Ever noticed a small hole in the middle of an airplane window? That's not a defect, it's actually there to prevent the window from breaking. The hole helps balance the air pressure between the different layers of glass so that the window doesn't crack under the pressure. 4. The cabin lights dim for a reason. If you've been on a nighttime flight, you've probably noticed that the cabin lights get dimmed before landing. This isn't just to create a relaxing mood, it's actually for safety reasons. If there's an emergency, your eyes will already be adjusted to the darkness, making it easier to find the emergency exits.
Secret pilot codes you probably didn't know. 1. The code that means a plane has been hijacked if a pilot enters 7,500 into their transponder. It's a secret distress signal that tells air traffic control, "We've been hijacked." This message is silent, so passengers won't know anything is wrong, but security forces will immediately be alerted. 2. The code for a serious emergency if a pilot types in 7,700. That means something is seriously wrong, like a major technical issue or a medical emergency. It's basically a way to let air traffic control know that the plane needs help ASAP. 3. The code for a radio failure when a plane's communication system fails. Pilots use the code 7,600 to let controllers know that they can't hear or respond. 4. Pan versus Mayday. If you ever hear a pilot say Mayday, 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 that means they are dealing with a life-threatening emergency. But if they say pan, it means something is wrong. But it's not life-threatening, at least. Not yet.
Interesting natural events in aviation and the world of aviation. There are plenty of natural occurrences and weather phenomena that can have an impact on flights. Some of these events are pretty fascinating, and others might surprise you. Here are a few interesting ones. 1. Lightning strikes that don't cause any damage. Airplanes frequently fly through areas with lightning storms. But here's the surprising part: lightning usually doesn't damage the aircraft. The metal body of the airplane actually lets the electricity pass through it safely. While most people would think that a lightning strike would be dangerous, it generally doesn't pose a problem for the plane. 2. The green flash during sunrise or sunset. There's a rare phenomenon called the green flash. This happens when the sun's light is bent in a certain way as it rises or sets, making it briefly appear green. This happens because of atmospheric conditions and light scattering. Pilots at high altitudes can see this rare event, though most people on the ground never get to witness it. 3. Flying over thunderstorms and clouds, like cumulonimbus, can grow to incredible heights, and inside them, you'll find severe thunderstorms and even tornadoes. These massive clouds can cause all sorts of problems for pilots, like heavy turbulence and delays. It's not uncommon for pilots to encounter these thunderstorms, which makes flying over them a challenge. 4. Rain of fish and frogs. Believe it or not, there's a rare phenomenon where strong storms can lift small creatures, like fish or frogs, into the air. These creatures are carried by the force of the storm and fall back down with the rain. Some pilots report strange rainstorms where they see large drops of water, but also small creatures mixed in. It sounds unbelievable, but it's a real event in nature. 5. Freezing temperatures and their impact on aircraft in some cold regions, like the North Pole or mountainous areas, temperatures can drop so low that they affect how planes operate. In freezing conditions, ice can form on the wings or engine, which is dangerous. To prevent this, pilots rely on anti-icing systems to keep the plane's surfaces clear and safe for flying. 6. Strange skylight summitums. Natural phenomena like the northern lights or aurora borealis happen, and pilots flying in the higher latitudes have a front row seat to these incredible displays. These lights dance in the sky, creating a mesmerizing show of colorful lights, and pilots get a chance to experience them while they're up in the air.
7. Flying in dense fog. Flying through dense fog is one of the biggest challenges pilots face. In these conditions, visibility is often reduced to near zero, making it hard to see the runway or anything around. Pilots have to rely on sophisticated navigation systems and instruments to land safely. Sometimes, the fog can be so thick that pilots don't even see the runway until they're almost on top of it. 8. Jet streams that can speed up flights. At high altitudes, there are powerful jet streams that flow in the atmosphere. Pilots can use these to their advantage, speeding up flights and saving time, especially on long international routes. However, these jet streams can shift unexpectedly, altering the flight path, and pilots have to adjust to these changes to make sure they stay on course. 9. Changes in gravity. Sometimes brief changes in gravity or the Earth's magnetic field can affect aircraft. For example, gravity waves or disruptions in Earth's magnetic field might cause strange shifts in altitude or navigation systems. These can be minor, but they do remind pilots how unpredictable nature can be while flying. Final thoughts: being a pilot is much more than just flying a plane. It's an entire lifestyle full of responsibilities, challenges, and incredible experiences. From secret codes to unexpected facts, aviation is full of mysteries that most people never hear about. So, next time you're on a flight, you'll know a little more about what's really happening behind the scenes in